Everybody, welcome back to Tony's Picks. Here with Tim Irwin, one of our newer cappers here over on the site. Tim, what's going on? Welcome to our site and to our channel.
Yeah, it's nice to be a part of your team.
Well, great to have you here. Of course, we're working with Tim on some videos. We've talked a lot about Tim. We talked a bit about before we started the show about baseball. He's getting into baseball, also into NASCAR. Keep an eye on. May have some of those head-to-head matchups. So keep an eye on with Tim there. But Tim, we're going to get started here on our segment here, looking at college basketball as we're kind of winding down the season. Here, we're going to look at this one here for Wednesday NIT. The finals of the NIT in Vegas, North Texas and UAB going head-to-head here on ESPN2 here. UAB going to be laying 2, total sits 128.
Yeah, these two teams are hot right now, so I'd be thinking it might go to overtime because the last two games have gone to overtime in the NIT, and it's going to come down to which team shows up. Like Texas has Tyler Perry scoring a lot of points, and UAB has Jordan Walker scoring a lot of points. So I think whatever best player shows up, that team's going to win 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and of course, looking at this game, when they play in the conference, it was interesting when they play in the Conference USA tournament because, North Texas got them the first two, and then, of course, in that Conference USA tournament there, it was UAB getting the win. And interesting, when I looked at that game, UAB got off to a 22-2 start that game.
They did. They are pretty good at shooting the threes. They got two good guys that can drive the ball and get to the hoop. And it's going to come down to see if Texas can stop them. Texas got a couple people can drive too, so
yeah,
the two best teams made the championship. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be a good one also too, because interesting two conflicting styles, right? That first game against Utah Valley, that one went over and they put up a lot of points, and then two of the slowest teams in basketball met with North Texas and Wisconsin. Kind of that one, finished under, but man, that could have went over if we had overtime in that one because that was a very low scoring game with North Texas and Wisconsin.
Yeah. It was weird how Wisconsin went on a scoring drought for 9 minutes. That was it was supposed to go over, but somehow they didn't score a basket for 9 minutes. I watched the same game, boss. I was on the over too.
Yeah, that one ended up going just under because, again, some of these scoring droughts with some of these teams like Wisconsin, you got to keep an eye on some of the shooting. That one there, North Texas, still 44% shooting. They allow 37% there to Wisconsin. But, again, it's about, UAB. They can put up some points. I know they've been kind of trending under, but we're starting to see the overs come in here in that last one against Utah Valley. Kind of the shooting percentages were low on both sides, but it gets the pace there, got it over.
Yeah, especially since the line started out 126. It's creeping up. I think as long as it doesn't go over 130, we'll be safe. I think.
All right.
We got two teams going to fight it out.
All right, we got Tim here on UAB and North Texas over 128. This one will have a start time here of 9:30 Eastern time over on ESPN2. Guys, check out Tim Irwin over at Tony'sPicks.com. Click the link in the description. Get signed up to his long-term passes. Of course, Tim is doing great in the NBA, top unit producers in the NBA this season. So, guys, make sure you check out Tim over at Tony'sPicks.com and get signed up. All right, let's continue on here on the show. All right, Tim, we now move to the NBA here for Thursday. Just a 2-game card. Of course, Major League Baseball will take center stage. A lot of day games, so people will be geared up. Be geared up for this one. I'm geared up for this one too, as these teams are going to trying to jockey for that number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Bucks will be on a back-to-back here hosting Celtics. Bucks opened up here. This is the opening line here, 2.5 total, 236.5.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. The battle for number 1 seed. If Boston wins, they can control the home field advantage, and if Milwaukee wins, they can control the home field advantage. And the way it's been going, they're even so far this series. So the last 10 games these two teams played, they've gone over 235 or close to, they're averaging between 232. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. That we'll have to pay attention to that line. It might go down, it might go up by tomorrow, but I think we have a shot at going over.
All right, Tim, looking here at over the total here, these are two teams that can shoot the ball very well. And, of course, as we look here at Boston, they're going to be in a bounce-back mode. The opening game of this road trip didn't work out too well for these Celtics. I don't know what happened there in that second half, but my goodness, giving up 54% shooting to a Washington team that looked like they were dead and buried for the season. Of course, they're missing their two sharpshooters, Beal and Kuzma, and somehow they let that one get away, which I think has really got to be hurting them right now, especially when they're in this fight for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. That was a letback game for them. But I think they were just kind of saving it for this game, because both teams are averaging almost 120 points per game. It's going to be, we'll see who shows up, it's going to be a battle for number 1, I think it's going to be a good game. I think probably whose defense shows up, and they both hit the three very well. So you got Tatum probably will score 30 points, and you probably got Giannis will probably get 30.
Yeah, and of course, heading into their game against Milwaukee, it looks like we'll see how the injuries shape up here. Giannis it looks like he's going to play the Thursday game. Of course, Boston looks like a clean injury report. Of course, Gallinari is the only one showing up. He hasn't played all season. I don't think he plays in the spots of Denver, spots and Clippers. The guy was on the injury report seems like all the time. So why not at Boston on the injury report as well? But again, Holiday, Allen, and Lopez in there. Of course, Lopez is the defender and also can hit the three for them.
Lopez is hot. He's been scoring a lot of points lately, too. I like his over, too, tomorrow. You could probably put that in the same game parlay.
Looking at some of the overs there, of course, Tatum and Brown are the two shooters there for Boston. Looks like a lot of scoring here between Milwaukee and Boston. Opening up here, 2.5. We're starting to see a tick up here on this one. Still 2.5. I saw a rogue line somewhere at 3.5, but it looks like it's going to be 2. It's going to be Milwaukee here on the back. But how do you factor this back-to-back? They are facing Indiana the night before, because if we film this, the game has not gone off yet between Indiana and Milwaukee, but Indiana's a team that's kind of in that spot where there could be looking at a lot of injuries, and they're pretty much on their way out of the play-in round the way it looks.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be in cruise control game tonight. I think they'll smoke the Pacers because they ain't going to want to give up a game, because right now they're 1.5 games ahead of Boston right now, so they're going to want to go in tomorrow with at least a lead. That way, if they do lose, they can manage to fight back at the last 9 games of the season, because I think there's only 9 games left. So
yeah, we're getting right down to the wire here. Actually, as Boston plays this game, they have 68 in, so they're only going to have about 7 left. Actually, 66 games. They played 76 games. Right, 76 games, 6 games remaining, and Milwaukee will also be in that same. Actually, Milwaukee's played 50. They played 55. So they played tonight 56, so we're going, or 80, I'm sorry, 76, so they're down to about 6 games left for both teams when they play tomorrow, so we're just down to about a week and a half left for this regular season, so that's going to, and do you see these two teams colliding when we get to the finals?
Very slight possibility, depending on what James Harden on the Sixers does, or you got to watch out for them Hawks and them Knicks. They're hot too, if they get hot,
Yeah, the Hawks have been a team that's been kind of up and down, where there were maybe some chemistry issues. Of course, a new coach coming in, you thought there'd be a little kick there. Of course, the Jazz coach from last year, kind of a weird situation, bringing in an experienced somebody outside the organization. Usually when you see these hires, it's usually from within, because you've been around since training camp. You know what's going on. It's got to be tough for this new coach coming out from the outside of coaching. Boom, we're going to launch you right into a hot situation here in Atlanta.
It is. The East is going to be wide open. You got the Cavs sitting there. There's a lot of good teams this year. It's going to come down to, I think the home field advantage is a big factor in the playoffs. So usually who gets to 4 games usually has the advantage in the series.
Yep, that's right. You get that 7-game series. Of course, that's the key there, is you get Game 7 at home, and that should be an interesting one here, guys. Tim here is going to be Celtics Bucks over 236.5. This one's going to have a start time here late. It'll be a late night game. I'm sorry, it's the early game. Early game on TNT, 7:30 Eastern time, the TNT doubleheader. So that's how you roll there with the over. All right, Tim. What do you have going over at the site over at TonySpicks.com? We've seen you top of leaderboards in the NBA. As we talk here, over 1,000 units of profit in the NBA. 2 on the board for the NBA here on Thursday. We're going to have a few on the ice, but again, a 15-game card for Major League Baseball. What are you going to have over on the site for Thursday's action?
Tomorrow, I'll probably find a couple baseball games, and I'll have a premium pick on this next game. And for this, and I'll have a premium pick on the NIT championship game. This weekend, I'm studying the UFC. They're going to do the weigh-in Friday, and after I see the weigh-in, I will get a good prediction on who I want to pick the winner of the fights this weekend. And then I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to have a monthly package for NBA. I'm thinking about I think there's only 10 weeks left. Maybe I'll work out a special price for the end of the season package coming up.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. We're down. We're down to the playoff. Made a nice little playoff package, and then include the play-in round, include the final week and a half of the season. Yeah, put an NBA season pass up there because Tim's been on fire in the NBA, guys. So you want to fire in on him. Remember the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. You can access Tim's page by just clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab. When you land on Tim's page, go ahead and get signed up and use that promo code. He'll be in action here for the games for you here on Thursday. Of course, the long-term pass, you want to try them out for 7 days, you can do that. 7 days of baseball, 7 days of NBA, covers the March Madness as well, right? We're getting into we're talking NIT today, but we're looking forward to those games on the weekend.
Oh yeah, we got 2 more good games. There's only a couple games left in college. I'm excited for the finals. It's going to be a good one this year.
Yeah, UConn's look dominant. Everybody says UConn, but a lot of things can change. These teams, they know to get some time off. Miami's been one of those teams that kind of been under the radar, except for the sharp folks that have been following that Miami team. They've been hot, but of course their last loss came against Duke. But that in those tournament settings that you're playing games every day, so it's kind of tough to gauge a game like that in the ACC final.
It is. It totally is. But I think one of them Florida teams will be in there. I just don't know which one. I think Florida teams are hot this year. Yeah,
Conference USA has been one that's been strong. If they only played more bigger conference teams, there would have been more in the tournament. People always after the fact, right? Oh, they should have been in the tournament. When you look at teams like North Texas and UAB, they didn't play enough of the big schools, and you can't. That's the way where it is. You got to play the big schools. You got to play major conference, and that's where you get the respect.
Definitely. It's gonna be a good series, yeah. Because like UConn, you like UConn, and I like UConn too. But it's just when it comes down to the fight, there's gonna be some good games. Sometimes you might want to just take the points because I think it's gonna be a close game. I think.
That's the thing. First thought, I thought more. I had a feeling that UConn was going to blow out Gonzaga. I was not been a big Gonzaga fan. Remember, UCLA was missing their 2 defensive stoppers. We always talk about rim protector. The rim protectors are so important now in college and NBA. He was out, so it made it easier for Tim's. You face a UConn team loaded with NBA talent around there. It's different with these small conference schools. They're not used to playing these schools that have so much prospects on their team.
Yeah. Miami's got 2 NBA players. UConn's got 2 NBA players. Florida Atlantic's got some NBA players. And then you can't forget about that sleeper San Diego team. Like the public's all over San Diego State. I mean, I bet them this weekend, and they came through. It came down to a last-minute shot, but they won. I think the ref controlled that game, though. That was a tough call there. I don't. Yeah, that was a tough call.
Yeah, it's a tough call there to try to to decide a game there. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people love San Diego State. It was a high profile game against Alabama, right? Alabama was on that. I think it was the CBS game. Alabama, there, the cameras always follow the number 1 seed in the tournament. So when you knock out the big cheese in the tournament, Alabama, everyone's going to give you that respect.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're going to fight. That might be the low scoring game.
Yeah. I have a feeling too, yeah, because again, San Diego State not the greatest shooting team, and that's the thing with college basketball. It's so much different than NBA. It's just they focus more on rebounding and defensive positioning because they can't shoot at that. As we said, 47% shooting isn't good anymore in the NBA. These guys are in the 50% ranges now. It's been getting crazy the way this fast pace is going on.
Definitely.
All right, guys, so get on board with Tim over at Tony's Picks. Click the link in the description, get signed up. And before I let you go, Tim, anything else you got to offer here? Because we talked about baseball coming up, all the new rule changes. You said you may be a little light with the premiums just to start because you wanted to kind of keep an eye on how these rules are going to impact the game.
Yeah, the first couple of weeks I want to see how these pitchers adjust to the new rules, how this quick, and see how the defense adjusted to the switch hitters, pay attention to what teams can score a lot of runs because there's going to be a few teams that are going to score a lot of runs now that they change the defense around. They can't. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they changed the shift around big time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the more I think about it, I don't know if the pitch clock's going to have as much impact as the defense not allowing to shift anymore. I think that's going to have the biggest impact here with these rule changes. I'm starting to think about that now. The more I see it, I'm seeing it in spring training, a lot of runs scored.
Yeah, just their hitters are known just to pull the ball, and now that's going to force them to change their game, and we're going to see which hitters can adjust, and it's going to be interesting. We have to pay attention the first couple of weeks.
It's all about contact, making contact. We'll see if they're still going to swing for the fences, or will be contact. That's a lot of offensive strategies now in the game with the way they've now with the launch angles and these home runs knocking out of the park. Some teams either home run or strikeout. Now they've got to rethink about it now with with no more moving these infielders around.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to speed the game up. Maybe we'll have a lot of unders or something, But there's going to be some teams that just smack the overs because they're going to be hitting the ball good. We're just going to have to pay attention.
Certainly will. Should be a great season. All right, Tim, great having you on the show. Great having you on the site. Continue that great success this year, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Yep.
You got it. Tim Irwin here on our show here, guys. Make sure you click the link in the description and get signed up to one of Tim's long-term passes.